Today we are visiting a special little place. We got up super early at 5 in the morning and check it out. This is where we are. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Inside Angkor Wat, and this is the largest religious structure in the whole world. So this is my very first time visiting Angkor Wat, but Sam over here has been to this place a whopping 4 times. World traveler much? So how is your 4th time here different from the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd? Tell us.
Well, the temples are certainly still as impressive as ever, but there are so many more tourists here than when I first came. It's, I would say, tripled, quadrupled, maybe even more than that. It's just unbelievable how many people are sharing the experience.
So this is actually a Hindu temple that was dedicated to the Hindu God Vishnu, and the temple was built by a Cambodian king who helped unify the country and to also spread the Khmer influence across Southeast Asia.
One of the most impressive things about this temple here is actually the massive moat that surrounds it. It's one of the first things you notice as you're coming up to the temple.
There are several options for booking tickets to visit the temples of Angkor. We went with a 3-day option and that was $40, but you can also go with a 1-day option, 2-day option, or if you really love temples, 7 days.
Wow.
But I imagine that's quite pricey.
A good time to come to Angkor Wat is actually right at lunchtime, because a lot of the tourist buses and tourists are out having lunch, or are at that point in the day templed out, which means they're really hot, they're tired, they've seen enough temples for the day. So if you want an alternative time to come, definitely consider coming around between say 12 and 1:30. Coming back for the 4th time was amazing. I never get tired of this place. But one funny observation I have is that I noticed that any families dragging along, bringing their children, the children really didn't seem to be enjoying this as much. They're just dragging their feet. I think it has a lot to do with the heat and humidity outside right now. It is really, really hard to be walking around and not sweating profusely.
I really enjoyed getting up early and coming to watch the sunrise at Angkor Wat. I thought that maybe the experience wouldn't feel special because there are literally hundreds of people also here at that time of day, but it felt kind of like we were sharing the moment together, so I really enjoyed it.
We boarded a river taxi, one of our favorite ways of getting around Bangkok, to visit one of the most iconic landmarks of the entire city.
one of our last days in Thailand and actually one of our last days in Southeast Asia. So we've decided to do a bit of sightseeing around Bangkok and we are visiting Wat Arun.
This is the Temple of Dawn located on the west bank of the Chao Phraya River. Already sweating profusely and now it's time to go climb this massive temple.
I've seen Wat Arun a few times when traveling down the Chao Phraya River and it's really interesting because from a distance it just looks like it's a great temple, maybe made out of concrete, but once you actually get here and walk up close to it, you can see all the intricate little details, like it's made up of broken tiles and ceramics, so it's really cool. It's a bit of a surprise. And it gets even steeper. So that was easily the scariest set of stairs I have ever climbed. The steps were like this high and they were only this wide, so your feet could barely fit on there. I had to come down seated the whole time, like just on my butt.
Tips for visiting Wat Arun. First, make sure you bring tons of water. Like we brought 2 water bottles and we've just guzzled them. I swear I've sweated out half of my body weight. And second, even though it's a really steep climb, even if you're afraid of heights like I personally am, it's still worth going up. The views are amazing. Waking up early in the morning certainly has its advantages. We are the first people to arrive at this temple, Banteay Srei.
This is one of the temples that we have been most excited to visit, and we are officially the first ones here. Here we are inside the temple. This happens to be a Hindu temple and it is dedicated to the god Shiva.
Most of the temples of Angkor were commissioned by powerful kings, but this temple in particular was not. It was commissioned by a Brahmin, which makes it quite unique. Because we came here early, we got a VIP tour. Normally, these areas are gated off, as you can see by the white perimeter here. And the rope. Look at where we are. advantages of being the first on site can't be underestimated. I mean, anything to avoid those package tours is a good idea.
There are many temples to choose from, but this one in particular, Banteay Srei, is considered to be the crown jewel of Angkorian art because it has some of the most exquisite and intricate carving. This temple is located very far away from Siem Reap. We had to travel over an hour in a tuk-tuk, and I slept most of the way, but I hear it was a very scenic journey. Yes?
Along the way, we passed a lot of rural villages. We saw locals out doing various kinds of activities early in the morning, some farming related, some business. We saw bikes packed, just to the total brim full of stuff. We saw a lot of different things, and it was just a really cool trip to get out here. Today we're here visiting Kek Lok Si Temple, and this is the biggest Buddhist temple in all of Southeast Asia. In order for us to get here, we had to go through a bit of a market.
Never seen so many turtles in one place. We are visiting the Temple of Supreme Bliss, and I'm feeling particularly blissful this morning. Let's have a look.
This impressive temple took nearly 20 years to build and was funded almost entirely by donations. And even today, they're doing more renovations.
This temple is located on a hilltop in airy Thom, and it offers excellent views of the city below. Are you?
I have rivers rolling down my body.
Yeah, your shirt seems quite appropriate now.
I am hot.
I'm hot. I'm hot.
These temples here combine Mahayana Buddhism and Chinese rituals. And that concludes our tour of the temples here. For anyone who would like to come, you can take the bus 201, 203, and 204 from the Complex Comptoir, basically the main mall in Georgetown. And it's about a 40-minute ride here. Overall, the temples are pretty cool. A little bit, well, actually not a little bit, very much commercial, but I guess that's to be expected.
But enough about the temples, now it's time for lunch. Bright and early, it's only 7:20 in the morning and I've been dragged out of bed by someone to go visit the Batu Caves early in the day.
And how are we getting there?
We are taking the commuter train from KL Central.
₱1 each.
It was cheap. Today we are visiting the Batu Caves. It's only 13 kilometers north of Kuala Lumpur, and this is an important Hindu shrine.
The caves takes its name from the Batu River and is dedicated to Lord Murugan.
Looks like it's feeding time for the pigeons over here.
Money or food couldn't buy you friends. Here I am on step number 1, I've only got 272 more of these bad boys to climb. Off we go.
Macaques or little monkeys, and this is my first time seeing monkeys up close, so it's all I'm taking pictures of. Forget the temple.
Finally, 272 steps later, we have made it to the top. So this is actually my third time coming to the Batu Caves, but this is by far the earliest I've come, and what a difference it makes. There's hardly anyone here. It feels like we have the place to ourselves. We've had intimate encounters with pigeons, monkeys, roosters. There's a performance going on. My tip to anyone, come early. We beat the first tour bus group here. Look at them coming. So now we're rewarding ourselves with a vegetarian Indian feast. I swear I must have lost half my water and body weight going up and down those Batu Caves.
Okay, so I ordered myself a delicious roti, which I'm going to enjoy right now. I am starving.
Masala chai.
So now we are at another temple called Preah, which means sacred sword. And this temple is believed to have been a university that housed over 1,000 teachers.
Here is one of our favorite temples. The reason why we really like it so much is that it's just not overcrowded. Like, we've come here, mind you, we've come early in the morning, but there's hardly anyone here. And it has that kind of eerie feel to it, similar to Prohm, but without all the crowds. So you can be walking through and you feel like you're going through a maze. It's really quite fascinating.
So people who have come through this temple have picked up some rocks and stacked them into a little formation, and I do believe this has a special meaning in Buddhism. So we ended up at the Golden Mount in Bangkok, and it looks like there's some kind of celebration going on. We're gonna see what it's all about.
เรียนเชิญเลยนะคะท่านใดที่ยังไม่ได้ขึ้นไปกราบสักการะองค์พระ
we've got all of the different animal signs. I'm the clocker rooster, and so I've got my lucky piece of bot to put in here. See if it's gonna bring some good luck for me.
This is actually a really nice place to cool off because they have mist blowing on you as you go up the steps. About a month ago and there was no one here, but today happens to be some kind of Buddhist holiday, so everyone is coming here to pay their respects and the place is just packed.
Best views of Bangkok from up here.
So now we are at another temple called Preah, which means sacred sword, and this temple is believed to have been a university that housed over 1,000 teachers.
Here is one of our favorite temples. The reason why we really like it so much is that it's just not overcrowded. Like, we've come here, mind you, we've come early in the morning, but there's hardly anyone here. And it has that kind of eerie feel to it, similar to Prohm, but without all of the crowds. So you can be walking through and you feel like you're going through a maze. It's really quite fascinating.
So people who have come through this temple have picked up some rocks and stacked them into a little formation, and I do believe this has a special meaning in Buddhism. This morning we are venturing up to Doi Suthep, and there's a temple atop the mountain overlooking Chiang Mai. So we're going to be taking a red song tao to get there, and hopefully the views of the city will be amazing.
Here's the Song Tao crew. Say hi.
Hi!
We're going to Doi Suthep. Yeah, build up of lactic acid. Get out of the vehicle, and this is our first vantage point. Unfortunately, it's still a bit hazy outside, so we don't have a great view at the moment.
But the city is there somewhere. So the long climb begins. I'm not entirely sure how many steps we have to go, but I know it's going to be a long way.
I think there's over 300.
Ideally, you should be able to see the views of Chiang Mai from up here, but today it's just really hazy, so there's a cloud hanging over the city. We can't really see much, which is unfortunate.
So that concludes our visit to Doi Suthep. It's definitely different than what I expected. I was kind of expecting this quaint little temple on top of a hill, and instead it's an extremely popular tourist attraction. It's really crowded over here.
I would say the exterior of Doi Suthep is quite similar to a lot of the other Wats we have visited here in Chiang Mai. However, the highlight for me was actually going inside the temple, because there's a courtyard with a golden stupa and you can walk around, light candles, there's incense burning, so that was a nicer experience. Today we are outside Siem Reap and we are exploring the temples of Angkor, starting with Angkor Thom.
The most fascinating thing about Bayon are the cold faces that have a hint of a smile.
This massive complex has 54 towers with 216 faces on them. Here we have the Terrace of the Elephants. It is 350 meters long. This was once used as a viewing platform from where you could watch the ceremonies that took place for the king.
Well, we're traveling right now in Cambodia in April, and it is the hottest time of the year here. It's always hot in Cambodia, but this is literally the worst month. I'm just sweating buckets. So a tip for people coming here, if you want to come in a bit of a cooler time, December, January, February, great time to come. It's also peak season here, so you will be sharing it with more tourists, but you won't be sweating as much. Now we're gonna climb up 400 steps to visit the cave pagoda.
So why are you so sweaty, boy?
I just climbed 400 steps, and I'm not just sweating profusely, this is beyond that. I'm probably gonna die. So this is one of the more quirky temples I've visited. There's a Buddha wearing sunglasses. That's pretty chill.
So this temple has beautiful views. It's just rice fields as far as you can see.
So this cave pagoda temple has been surprisingly impressive. It's actually, it's quite stunning and elaborate, and the views are spectacular. If anyone wants to come here, this is near the Vietnamese-Cambodian border in the far south near Chao Doc. Hello! 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 Hello!
We are now visiting Prohm, which is a Buddhist temple where the jungle just dominates the architecture. Here the buildings are wrapped in trees, some of the entrances are blocked.
Indiana Jones would feel right at home here at this temple. In fact, it was used for the set of Tomb Raider, starring Angelina Jolie.
It's decaying, it's crumbling, but it's a great place to explore. This is an example of nature taking over the temple. Here you have this massive tree that's just straddling a wall, really.
Some parts of the temple have been completely destroyed over the centuries, which actually creates quite a fascinating atmosphere. I first visited Prohm back in 2008, and wow, was it an entirely different experience. There was hardly anyone. I was able to walk around without, you know, encountering mass crowds. It's completely different this time. And instead of sort of lamenting about it and, you know, just getting really negative and down about it, what I've been actually doing is just taking a lot of time-lapse shots. I'm using the crowds and the people as sort of a backdrop for filming. And that's what I'm going to do throughout this entire time that I'm here exploring the temples of Angkor. A much quieter alternative once you've explored the temple is actually just to walk around the perimeter. It's quite peaceful here.